Epistemophobia, the fear of knowledge. You can't be a sufferer of this one for long before it starts to put a serious cap on your personal development. This phobia means no more learning, no school, and no longer being open to new information and facts, which means any of you watching this who suffer from this phobia are probably about to have a really bad time. Decidophobia, the fear of making decisions. How does someone go about their life if they're afraid of making decisions? Those with this phobia have no problem with contemplating a decision, but actually making a choice terrifies them. Cibophobia, the fear of food. In case this hasn't already become clear to you, humans need food to survive. Cibophobes are afraid of food, which leaves them with two options, one of which is death. Thankfully though, most sufferers are only afraid of specific types of food, but if left untreated and untouched for too long, the range of things included can dangerously expand. Arachibutyrophobia. As silly as it sounds, arachibutyrophobia is the bizarre fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth. And someone with this phobia usually has severe symptoms of anxiety, and the fear is often rooted in a more generalized phobia of choking or a fear of sticky textures. Counterphobia, the preference by a phobic for fearful situations. Okay, so that's a mouthful. This is when a phobic actively wants to involve themselves with objects or situations that cause them extreme fear and discomfort. Acousticophobia, fear of sound. The fear of sound or noise is one of the more severe phobias that people can suffer. Like most other phobias, acousticophobia is generally generated by the mind as a protective mechanism. Now, typical treatment can take years, which makes it troubling to wonder how sufferers of this phobia manage to go about their lives in the meantime. Hypnophobia, the fear of sleep. This is another phobia that can considerably impact your quality of life. A few days without food is a walk in the park when compared to hypnophobia. It's difficult to remain in a functional state after just a day of not sleeping. After 11 days of not sleeping, you'll suffer massive hallucinations. And while it's never been observed in humans, sleep deprivation in animals does cause death. Ambulophobia, the fear of walking or standing. Predominantly developed due to a link to the fear of losing control, the implications of this phobia are almost hard to comprehend. If you're merely thinking about standing or walking around, and that's scaring you, then how on earth do you go about life? Those who suffer from this phobia usually find it safer to sit or lie down, which links it to the vertigo, the fear of falling whilst walking around. Panphobia, the fear of everything. Also known as omniphobia, pantophobia, or panophobia, this is a non-specific fear, an anxiety disorder characterized by an irrational fear of everything, where the sufferer finds himself in a state of fear, but with no actual target. Naturally, this makes remedies difficult. The phobia has been described as a vague and persistent dread of some unknown evil, making it a bit like being permanently trapped in the mental state caused by Monday mornings. Phobophobia, the fear of developing a phobia. Now, if this is already a fear, then how is phobophobia even considered a phobia? Well, it exists, and it's so ludicrously complicated that it should probably be considered as a paradox as opposed to a genuine fear. Phobophobia is a miserable condition that represents a potentially infinite loop of fear. And if phobophobia doesn't get you, what about phobophobia phobia? Or phobophobia phobia phobia phobia? Chills.